Hi, this is Rain from Rain Travels, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to write a Schengen Visa sponsorship letter. A Schengen Visa, I think, is one of the most exciting visas to get. Why? Because you can visit 26 countries with just one visa. And if you are able to get the multiple entry Schengen Visa, you'll be able to visit other European nations as well. Now, the concern is the process for obtaining a Schengen visa is not an easy process. There are a lot of documentary requirements, especially for non EU individuals. In cases wherein you will not be able to cover all of your expenses, a sponsorship letter may suffice. This letter is written by your sponsor who will cover all of the costs for your Schengen trip as well as explain your relationship with him or her. The sponsor of your trip does not necessarily have to be in the Schengen area. He or she can be part of your family, your friends, or even your partner. Let me reiterate that the sponsorship letter is only required in cases where the applicant will not be able to cover his or her expenses to the Schengen area. Here are the things that should be included in the sponsorship letter. First, the sponsor's name, the relation to the applicant, and the expenses that he or she will be covering, as well as the sponsor's contact information, which should include the phone number, address, and email. It also includes details of the applicant's name, passport number, the purpose of the travel, the relationship with the inviting person, the inclusive travel dates, as well as the itinerary. Attached to the sponsorship letter are the necessary documents like the passport and residence ID of the sponsor, his or her financial statements, his or her rental contract or home ownership, and an itinerary if traveling together with the applicant. Some people are confused with the difference between a sponsorship letter and an invitation letter. Basically, an invitation letter is written by a person who is residing in the Schengen state and inviting the applicant over to their home. And a sponsorship letter is written by a sponsor who is not necessarily living in one of the Schengen states and may or may not be accompanying the traveler for their trip. The next parts of the video will shows a sample sponsorship letter, the Schengen Visa Application, and also the declaration of sponsorship. This is a sample copy of the sponsorship letter that I've used for the past two instances that I have been to the Schengen area. So, of course, at first you should have the date, salutations, the address of the embassy that you're going to send your application to, sponsorship letter for the name of the applicant with passport number, and greetings. I am writing this letter to support the application of the name of the applicant with his or her passport number, the sponsor's full name. If the sponsor is a legal permanent resident of a certain Schengen state, you can include that. Or if he or she is not in the Schengen state, then his or her complete address or the country he is currently living at. Okay, so currently residing at the complete address, the work description, and company name and company address. The purpose of the visit. It should be written there as well as your relationship. And the entry and exit dates. Exit dates should also be included. So if you still have other reasons why you would want to visit and sponsor the visit of someone, then include it in this paragraph as well. So the next paragraph, during the travel dates specified above, the applicant will be staying at the sponsor's address if he or she lives in the Schengen state, or if it's in a hotel, please specify the address of the accommodation as well. The sponsor has to specifically say whether he or she will be sponsoring all of the travel expenses or only a part of it. And one more thing, you have to make sure that the sponsor attach copies of the documents, because it will be actually invalid if these documents are not included. So the passport or residence permit, financial statements, and home ownership, or anything that shows that the sponsor is financially capable of shouldering all of your expenses during your stay. Hmm. Closing remarks, the signature of the sponsor, sponsor's name, address, mobile or telephone number, and the email address. So that is a sample letter for the sponsorship letter. This is a sample visa application form. On the third page, go to number 32. So the question was, cost of traveling and living during the applicant's stay is covered either by the applicant himself or herself or by a sponsor. Since you are being sponsored, then you should tick off by a sponsor. And then you have to specify which will be supported, or what will be the means of support. Will it be by cash? Will it be by accommodation provided, or all expenses covered during the stay, prepaid transport, or others? For others, you have to specify what would that be. In some cases, the embassy would request for a declaration of sponsorship if the sponsor would be a resident or a citizen of that Schengen country. Okay, so the declaration of sponsorship can somewhat lengthen the time that your visa will be processed. So this declaration of sponsorship will be signed by the guarantor or the sponsor and submitted together with all the necessary documents to the cantonal or communal authority responsible for his residence. Again, this particular one that I'm showing you is for specifically for Switzerland. So, in conclusion, a sponsorship letter is necessary if the applicant will not be able to financially fund his or her travel and stay in the Schengen area. Aside from that, the sponsor may or may not be residing in the Schengen state. I hope you found this video about writing a sponsorship letter quite resourceful. If you still have any questions or concerns about writing a sponsorship letter, leave a comment down below or connect with me via IG. See you in my next Schengen Visa application videos. Bye!